Welcome to Grow and Be Fruitful. I'm Pastor Chris, and today I want to share with you 5 places you can buy seeds for your garden. Now I'm going to share 5 places I get seeds for my garden, and also some pros and cons for each one. But before I get to that, I should talk a little bit about why you should start with seeds in your garden. Why not start with transplants? If you just want to watch my 5 recommendations about where to buy seeds, you can skip ahead in this video. There are some time codes down in the bottom in the description that will help you to skip ahead to the appropriate place in the video. Starting from seeds is much cheaper than buying transplants. For the cost of 1 transplant, I can get a whole package of seeds, sometimes several. Now, starting with transplants does give you a jump start of about 4 to 6 weeks over planting from seed. So if you sort of fallen behind and you need to hurry up and get your garden going, it might be better to start with transplants. But you don't know how well those transplants have been cared for before you buy them. You would think that a store would take good care of their plants, but especially if it's not a plant nursery, if it's a big box store, they have a lot of things to take care of, and a lot of times their transplants are low on their list of priorities. Last fall, I bought 6 transplants, and they all died. They did terrible once I planted them, and they all died before they even bore any fruit. So there's no guarantees with transplants. I have also heard stories of people bringing home transplants that had some plant diseases on them, or maybe they had damaging insects burrowed in the soil of the plant, and they brought them home to their garden and it spread all to the rest of their house plants or in their garden. And that's a horror story I didn't want to think about happening. So there are some risks that are involved with transplants. If you grow your own seedlings, you know exactly how they've been treated. Plus, you will have many more transplants, probably more than you can actually use, and you'll be able to choose the very best ones from your seed starts to go into your garden. And then with the extras, you can just hang on to them in case you need a backup. You can give them away to your neighbors, your friends, or your family. One of the best benefits of growing your own seedlings is you can grow so many different varieties. Did you know that there are over 3,000 varieties of heirloom tomatoes that are actively in cultivation today? But you will only find maybe 5 or 10, maybe 15 varieties of tomatoes if you are looking for transplants in a store. So if you want to take advantage of the best varieties, or varieties that are specifically designed for your area, or some varieties that are just different, you're going to need to start from seeds. Stay tuned for my video that I plan to release next Friday, where I'm going to show you how to start your own seedlings. But before you start your own seedlings, you're going to need to buy some seeds. So, where are the best places to buy your seeds? Let's look at 5 places where I have gotten seeds and I've been very pleased with. Number 1, your local home improvement store. Go down to, your big box store, your Lowe's, your Home Depot, your Ace Hardware. They are going to have seeds that you can buy and grow in your garden. Now, I'm not saying that these are the very best places to buy your seeds, but it's something that's available to most people in most areas. And they actually have a decent variety of seeds available. I bought seeds from these stores and I've done just fine. And a lot of time, seeds bought in these stores are cheaper because they are dealing with so much more volume. And so they can sell them for cheaper. But there are some disadvantages. First, their seeds may only be available at certain times of the year. Now, as an avid gardener, you may want to buy your seeds in November, December, or January while it's still cold. Nobody's thinking about gardening, But because you're an avid gardener, you're planning ahead and you need those seeds now. And you may want to go ahead and get some of those seeds started while it's still cold outside, but you're going to grow them in a greenhouse, or you're going to grow them in a grow room in your house. In the big box stores, a lot of the times they don't have seeds available in the off season. They're not displaying their seed stocks in the middle of December because most of the population isn't thinking about gardening. And so they're dealing with things like Christmas trees and Christmas decorations and all of those kinds of things. They're not looking to sell gardening supplies in the middle of winter. So if you want to buy seeds in the off season, good luck finding them at the big box store. A second problem with big box stores is poor seed quality. The seeds may be a bit cheaper at those big box stores, but they are also, I think, tend to be lower quality. You may get seeds that are just fine, but you may also get seeds with very poor germinations. Seeds that you get from those stores, they may have been sitting in a warehouse for a couple of years before they were ever put on display, or they were put on display and they weren't sold, put in the warehouse, put back on display the next year, back in the warehouse. Who knows how long those seeds have been on the shelf? They could be 2 years old, 3 years old, or more. And every year that those seeds get older, their germination rate is going to drop down. Also, if those seeds weren't stored properly, if they got too hot, if they got too cold, if they got too moist, that also will affect their quality and their ability to germinate well. And in those big box stores, let's face it, seed sales is such a small part of their sales. They're not worrying about that stuff. They're worried about selling you a $2,000 lawnmower, or a big order of lumber, or some lights for your bathroom. And this little seed display they have, that's not even big on their priority list at all. So you don't know how well those things are being taken care of. If I had to guess, I would say not very well, because it's just not high on their priority list. Their only concerns with those seeds are put them out in spring when everybody wants to buy flowers, and put them away in the colder months when nobody cares about them. So I don't think buying in big box stores is your best option for buying seeds. A second, better source for garden seeds, especially if you're wanting something local where you can go and just pick those seeds right up off the shelf, is to go to a local plant nursery or feed store. I have a feed and seed store 10 minutes from my house, and I love having that because I live out in the country. There's just not a lot available out here. So I do everything I can to support that guy that's owns that store, because he's a great guy. He sells me my chicken feed. He's full of knowledge because he's got a lifetime's worth of knowledge about growing gardens and farming and raising chickens and all that kind of stuff. So I love going in there and supporting his business. You know, your local nursery or feed and seed store is usually locally owned. It's a business owner that probably lives right there in your community. His kids might go to school with your kids. And these business owners are a lot more likely to give their product better care and attention. Their businesses succeed or fail based on the trust that they build with customers in their own town. Therefore, they're not likely to sell you a bad product, because they know they might make a few bucks, but they're going to lose a customer, and they won't stay in business long if they operate like that. The big box stores have millions of customers coming to them, so if they tick off a few customers here and there, they don't really care that much. These local owners really do care, and they're going to give you good service, and they're going to give you good product, and they're going to stand by their product. Furthermore, they are likely to have specialized knowledge and expertise in growing plants, and they can be a great resource to give you advice about how to start your seeds, or how to deal with any kind of problems that may come up along the way. When you buy from these stores, you are supporting a local business, someone who likely lives in your community. They might live right down the street from you. And I love to do that. It just makes me feel good to know that I'm helping to support my community and build it up and make it thrive. Now, there are some drawbacks to buying seeds from a local plant nursery or from a feed and seed store. There are some limitations because these seed stores, they're not going to buy a lot of seeds that nobody else is going to buy. So they're dealing in the most popular varieties. Still, a good local plant nursery or a feed and seed store can be a great option for buying good seeds for your garden. Another option is to buy your seeds online. And there are many online suppliers that give you access to almost an unlimited variety of different seeds. You know, with the internet age that we live in, you can get almost anything if you've got enough money or enough time to track it down and find it. But with all of these different options, which companies are the best? Which are the ones that you should buy from? Well, I don't claim to know all of the best companies, but I do know the ones that I have worked with and the ones that I have particularly liked. And so I want to share 2 online stores that I have found to be excellent. My first choice to buy online seeds is HossTools.com. Hoss Tools is a company operates out of South Georgia. So as a Georgian, I like buying from them, knowing I'm supporting a family-owned business in my own state. And they're selling product that is, they're growing product and they're selling product that's in an area that's very similar to my climate. So I like that about them. Hoss Tools has a large supply of great seeds, and they take good care of their seeds, so you're going to get good germination from them. And they have the fastest shipping of any online company I have ever used. Now, that's for any company. I'm not just talking about seed companies. Hoss Tools has the fastest shipping for any company I have ever ordered from online. A few weeks ago, I ordered some seeds at 6 a.m. in the morning. I received an email from them at 10 a.m. that same day, just 4 hours later, that they had already fulfilled my order and sent those seeds in the mail. And I received them in the mail 2 days later. That, my friends, is amazing. HossTools.com has excellent customer service, excellent shipping speed. I think it's one of their goals, one of their promises is that they'll ship faster than any other company out there. And so far, that certainly has been found true by me. They also have excellent instructions on how to grow their seeds. They have a section of their website called Hoss University that teaches all about the different aspects of gardening. So it's a wealth of knowledge. It can be very helpful to you, and that's available to you whether you buy product from them or not. They also have a Facebook group called Row by Row, where you can find a whole community of helpful gardeners to help you out, give you advice, and to share advice with them, just to learn together and share pictures. And it's just a great place to share your love for gardening. And they also have a great weekly YouTube gardening show called the Row by Row Gardening Show. It comes on Thursday nights. I believe it's available on Facebook and also on YouTube. And so Hoss Tools is a great resource, and I like to buy seeds from them. I usually go to them first and see if they have it. And if they have it, I'll buy it from them. Now, there are some drawbacks to Hoss Tools as well. Seeds at Hoss Tools start at around $3.99 per package of seeds. And that's not terrible. In the whole scheme of things, that's not really terrible. But it is more expensive than what you might find at a big box store. But the additional cost at Hoss Tools is for shipping. If you live in the United States, and your order is less than $49, you're going to pay $4.99 for shipping. For orders between $49 and $99, you're going to pay $7.99 for shipping. For orders more than $99, shipping is free. So if you're buying a lot, the shipping's not an issue. But, so just let's look at a scenario. You went to Lowe's and you saw a package of seeds for carrots that were 99 cents for a pack of seeds. And you saw that at Lowe's. At Hoss Tools, it's going to be probably $3.99. That's not a big deal, but then you add the $4.99 shipping, and that one package of seeds that you could have picked off the shelf for $99 at Lowe's, and now has just cost you $8.98 at Hoss Tools. But you can be assured you'll be getting good seeds when you buy them from Hoss And you don't know what you're getting in that 99-cent package of seeds from Lowe's or Home Depot. So you just have to decide if it's worth it. Of course, the cost difference is less as far as the shipping goes if you buy more seeds. So, if you're buying, you say you buy 5 packages of seed, well, shipping is still just $4.99. So, you take that into consideration. And then, of course, if you go over that $49 mark, or if you go over that $100 mark, you get a price break on the shipping. Now, another great online seed supplier I use is Baker Creek. Their website is rareseeds.com. You can probably guess from their web address that Baker Creek specializes in rare varieties of seeds. Baker Creek has a huge selection of seeds. They have some of the most interesting, different varieties available, things that you won't find anywhere else. So, like I said, I usually go to hosstools.com first, and if I don't see what I want there, I'll go over to Baker Creek because I'm pretty sure I'll be able to find it there, especially if it's sort of different and out of the ordinary. Prices at Baker Creek start at around $2.50 per pack, but it varies depending on what you're buying. For some of the really rare seeds, it might be more than that. But on average, you might pay $3 or $4 per pack, so it's comparable with Hoss Tools. But here's the thing with Baker Creek. Their shipping is in the United States is absolutely free. And so that's a huge plus for Baker Creek. Plus, most of the orders I have received from Baker Creek also include a free bonus pack of seeds. And it says right there on the package, free seed packet. And they just throw those in with most of the orders that they send. I think every order I've gotten from them except for one had a free pack of seeds in it. So it's always kind of cool for me to see. I get my order in and all these things that I ordered, and then there's a bonus pack in there, and you never know what it might be. Last year I grew some white tomatoes that did really well in my garden, tasted really good, and it was just from a free pack of seeds that I got from Baker Creek. Now, shipping does take longer with Baker Creek. My last order that I got from them took about 10 days to come in from the time I ordered it to the time that it actually arrived in the mail. So that's way slower than Hoss Tools. And also Baker Creek is all the way over, I think, in Montana. So it's a long way. It's not in the same climate as where I'm growing my food. And so I always have to take that in consideration because they're selling things there. And I think they have a broader customer base. So, you have to just be careful thinking, you see this cool picture of this purple carrot that you want to grow, but you have to ask yourself, is it made to grow in my community where I live, or is it made to grow up in Canada? So just take that into consideration. Anytime you're buying seeds online, be sure that it's something that's going to grow in your garden. Now, last year, I grew sweet potatoes for the first time. Unfortunately, although Hoss Tools sells lots of Irish potatoes, they don't sell sweet potatoes. And Baker Creek sells sweet potatoes, but they didn't have any in stock when I went to go buy them. So I got a recommendation from somebody on, I think it was on the Row by Row Facebook group. That's the Hoss Tools Facebook group. And they recommended a company in Tennessee called Steele Plant Company. And their web address is steelpotatoplant.com. I'll put links to all these in the description of this video, so you can just click on them. Well, I ordered 2 varieties of sweet potatoes from Steele Plant Company, and they did excellent. They shipped the plants actually to me. They're called slips. It's just a little stem with a root ball on the bottom of it. It comes wrapped up in a paper towel or something that kind of helps keep it moist. They come and then you get them and you either put them in a jar of water or you go ahead and plant them. And all of those plants did great. I was a little concerned receiving live plants like that it might be damaged in shipping or it just might be too hard on the plants. But it was no problem. I didn't have any problem at all. I think I ordered 12 plants from each of those varieties, and I actually ended up with more because some of the plants I could actually split apart and make into more. So I didn't have any problems at all with the quality of the plants. They did great. So I would gladly recommend Steele as a great company to get your sweet potatoes. I also saw on their website that they sell onion plants. I've never tried those, but if you're looking for onion plants, I don't think it's bulbs. I think it's actually an onion start plant. So if you wanted to do that, you could do that from them as well. And I'm sure it would be a great source. So there's 5 places that I have gotten seeds where you could get seeds that would work just fine for you to help you start your own seeds. Number 1 is a big box home improvement stores like Lowe's, Ace, or Home Depot. But better than that, go to a local plant nursery or feed and seed store. Or you can go online to number 3, hosstools.com, or you can go to Baker Creek online, which is rareseeds.com, and then there is the Steele Plant Company or steelepotato.plants.com. And hold on, I'm going to give you a bonus. This one's for free, no charge, as if you had to you didn't have to pay for any of this, but here's a bonus one anyway. One more place to get your own seeds is save your own seeds from last year's harvest. Now, this only works if you're saving seeds from heirloom varieties. It won't work with hybrids because I don't want to get into how the genetics works, but a hybrid is like a combination of 2 different plants. And when you get the seeds from them, they won't be true to the mother plant. But heirloom varieties will, and they can usually be saved and replanted, and they will grow up and they will produce just as well as the ones you had the year before. And it's as simple as taking seeds from your vegetables and letting them dry and saving them until next year. For some vegetables, like potatoes and onions and garlic, you'll be saving the roots instead of the seeds. So I'll be making a video soon about growing my own sweet potato slips. I told you I bought my slips from Steele Plant Company last year, but this year I actually have some sweet potatoes in storage left over from my harvest last year, and they're already sprouting new slips off of it. So I'm going to experiment with creating my own slips from those potato plants and planting them in my garden once the weather gets warm enough. So I'll be putting out a video about that. Stay tuned to see it. And I'll also be putting out a video hopefully next Friday about how to start your seeds. So you got these seeds, how do you get them started? How do you make sure that they grow and they thrive and they're healthy and they're ready to put in your garden when the weather is warm enough? I encourage you to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell icon so that you'll get notified when my next video comes out. And pay attention and you'll be able to see how to start your own seeds. I'm also going to be putting out a video about how to start your own sweet potato slips. And I'll be doing a video soon about garden soil. What kind of garden soil do you need and how can you get it cheap? So pay attention, look for those in the future. Now, I want to tell you a little story that Jesus shared about seeds. In John chapter 12, verse 24, Jesus said, "I tell you the truth, unless a kernel of wheat is planted in the soil and dies, it remains alone, but its death will produce many new kernels, a plentiful harvest of new lives." Now, Jesus was teaching us about how you can cling to your life and make it whatever you want it to be, but then it's just all going to die with you. You're not going to bear any fruit. Just like in your garden, when you plant seeds, if you hang on to the seeds, you've got a little package of seeds. Maybe you got a little package of corn, and you could eat those little corn kernels, and it might provide you one meal. But if you plant those seeds and you let those seeds die, they will sprout and they will produce ears and ears and ears of corns, and you will multiply those handful of seeds into a whole satchel full of seeds, enough to feed your family all winter long. But you got to be willing to make the sacrifice with your seeds. But the same is true in your own life. Now, you got to understand that you got to let go of your current situation sometimes. You got to let go of your own personal, selfish dreams and let God take over your life, because God knows exactly what is best for you. You see, because God created you. He designed your very DNA. He knows exactly what is going to fulfill you, make you full of joy, and help you to be most fruitful and have the very best of life and share the very best of life with others as well. God knows that better than you do. But you know, it's scary sometimes for us to think, well, I'm going to give up control of my destiny. I'm going to take my hands off of the wheel. And as the old song does, the corny song says, we're going to let Jesus take the wheel. Well, Jesus is going to drive us to a better place than we were planning to go anyway. And we don't even know. We thought we knew where we wanted to go. But when we let go and let Jesus take over, He's going to take us somewhere even better. So think about that and get out there and grow and be fruitful.
Thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to become a thumb bud.